Good evening, my darling batlings. Sorry for the false start at the beginning. I forgot to tone down my audio settings. Turns out I've been broadcasting at too high of an audio bit rate this whole time.
Meow. There.
So tonight we're going to be finishing up Metal Gear Solid 2, and depending on how long that takes, because there's like a good hour's worth of cutscenes, then a final boss fight, and then more cutscenes at the end. We may start Metal Gear Solid 3, we may not, we're going to see. Just playing it by ear at this point.
So what you're saying is we might start these.
I mean, there's no... There technically are bees in Metal Gear Solid 3. There's a boss who controls bees. It's the guy that I constantly say we need a death battle between him and Dr. Bees.
I can't believe you. Do you expect me to believe that there is a boss that uses bees?
The most disappointing thing is that he can use his bees to form a gun that shoots bees at you, but he doesn't call it a BB gun.
Why is this? Why can't this not be?
And he's voiced by Grimlock from Transformers.
So what you're saying is the bees are locked and loaded.
Yes.
Oh God.
I mean, rather that the bees situation is grim.
Get closer to your mic.
Sorry. Yes, but yeah, you could say that the bees situation is grim while they are locked in this prison that their boss is.
Buzz off.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
These puns aren't very sweet.
Honey, you need to calm down. I forgot to turn off the background again. Still getting used to this new setup.
Please play in a well-lit room. I don't wanna.
I want to play in the darkest abyss.
But I like playing in complete pitch black, illuminated only by the light of my TV and computer screen like I'm some sort of cave goblin.
Why are you calling me out? Why? Why call out? Friend thought we betrayed have you.
That sounds more like a caveman than a cave goblin.
It sounds more like a cave Yoda.
Are you awake?
Didn't Yoda already live in a cave?
No.
GW.
Well,
the
yes,
Arsenal
sorry,
AI
it was more
is
of a hollowed out
corrupted beyond repair. I admit that I underestimated you.
A wood
Anyway,
log.
when we last left off, we had destroyed all the Metal Gear rays, and then,
I have squeezed the answers out of you instead.
Yeah,
my son.
we're getting ready for literally an hour of cutscenes.
What is with this character and choking people?
I don't know. This is like the second or third time he's done it. And unlike the first time, it is very easy to die here.
This is impressive.
I really see the life bar.
This is impressive. Disturbing.
Thankfully, it automatically refills between the cutscenes and the next bit of gameplay.
What do you mean?
That's not your business.
Oh, really? It so happens I have some business of my own to attend to.
Planning to hijack Arsenal?
Huh?
You were going to screw me over, weren't you?
Who talked? Ocelot?
Not exactly.
You just did?
I was the one who used Ocelot to suggest the idea to you in the first place.
What?
I was planning to give you Arsenal to begin with.
Why the uncharacteristic generosity?
Speaking of Star
Oh.
Wars, where's my Star Wars
I'm no
MGS clone? Where's my game
philanthropist.
about tactical
Arsenal
espionage
is far
action
from
in a
impregnable.
galaxy far, far away? That's a
It
good
needs other
question.
Metal Gears as
But
a huge payload of warheads and full air, sea, and
like the
land
most I
support
could
to
think of
function
that would be for like a
against
Rogue
a
One
large
type
attack
story
force without support.
where
Arsenal
espionage
is
would
nothing
actually
more
be
than a
no.
gigantic coffin.
We finally get a story
Seizing
about those
Arsenal gear
boffins.
was never the real objective.
What was your objective then?
We finally get a
list of
story about
names
what happened to those
of the
boffins to get the
Patriots.
rebels the information.
They were planning to extend
When we
their
find that
control to
media,
digital
we'll
information
find
flow
Dr. Wowie.
GW and Arsenal. That means
Okay,
the
so-
information they want to filter out is
Like,
contained in
I'm going to
GW,
have to summarize a lot of this stuff
including
because
that
a
list
lot
of
of
the
this is
highest
like
12 members of the
one,
Patriots'
a lot of
Wiseman's
dialogue to
Committee.
explain simple concepts,
And
and I
once
like
you knew who
summarizing
they
that
were, you would
rather
cross
than
out their
just
names
you know
one
sitting
by
here
one.
silently.
While we, with our
And
useless
also, a
arsenal,
lot of
drew
this
their
is like
fire.
a lot of
Very
meta philosophical, like
You
meta
were
narrative
using
stuff
us all along.
that we're
We
going to
were
be seeing
different.
as like
But
a
your
commentary, not
plans
just
hit a
on
snag with
American
GW destroyed,
society in
hasn't
the
it?
early 21st century, late 20th century,
No,
but
there is
also
another
on
way.
the idea of Metal Gear Solid
But
itself.
we have our own plans to carry out. We'll take the arsenal since you don't care for it anyway. The purified hydrogen
So
bomb is
the
ready
reason
to
that
A nuclear strike won't
the reason
stop
that
them.
Solidus wanted
It will damage their power source.
wanted the metal gear in the first
Mindless
place,
masses that
and
they
yes, she
control.
does have some honka donka
First things
badonkas.
first.
And booty.
Of course.
Yes, was
was what you
because
wanted.
the GWAI
won't
that was on
stop you.
board had data on board that
Thanks,
would
but I have
identify
quite
who
enough of
the
that.
Wiseman's Council, the leader of the Patriots, is. But with the virus we uploaded, that's been destroyed.
What exactly do you
And
want?
he was willing to just give up Arsenal gear to Dead Cell because, as it turns out, Arsenal gear is actually kind of useless without a whole
wouldn't have
battalion of Metal
minded
Gears and an
watching some
entire
more of it,
army of like
but we're
support
running a
staff to
little
keep it
short on
afloat
time.
and well guarded.
What are you
Otherwise,
talking
it's
about?
basically
Yeah.
just a gigantic coffin.
Everything you've done here has
Yeah.
been scripted. A little exercise set up by us.
And now we're going to find out, as we've known from the beginning
Exercise.
because of that scene in the
S3
tanker
plan
section,
was conceived as a
Ocelot
means to
has been
produce
working for the
soldiers on
Patriots
par
this
with
entire
Solid
time.
Snake. That's what I told you. But the VR training the boy was put through.
This is not
the
even
meat
as
of the
complicated
project.
as Ocelot's constantly switching loyalties get. We
You
eventually
think
get
this
to
little
points in the
terrorist
series where he's
incident
like
is your own doing,
quadruple
Solidus?
crossing people.
This is the S3
Why
training
do we stop at quadruple? Why not octuple?
orchestrated recreation
Because the series had to
of
end
Shadow
eventually.
Moses.
Fuck.
So the S3 system was something that was
Aims and the
brought up
president's
in the
death.
pre-fight to the Metal Gear
A
race.
ninja.
Solid Snake simulation. The idea
A
of
computer
turning
virus
any
that mimics
regular
Fox
soldier
die.
into a legendary
Did you
soldier
really
like Solid
think
Snake.
they were all a
Not
coincidence?
at first it was framed as like, oh, Raiden's
Aim's own
upbringing through
nanomachines were
VR
used to
training
shut
was
down
shaping
his
him into that. But
pacemaker.
no, it turns out all those similarities I pointed out between the narrative of this game and the
I
narrative of Metal Gear
arranged for
Solid
the
1
appearance of
was
the
completely
ninja as
intentional
well.
because this entire mission was part of the
As
simulation.
for the president, although Johnson realized what was going on, he played out his allotted part.
I'll
As for
have
the
to give
computer
myself
virus,
a
it's
promotion!
digital counterpart of Foxtie.
I mean,
It
he
was
does
also
deserve a
designed to
promotion for
eliminate
something
every
this
scrap of
complicated.
information regarding the Patriots
Yeah.
from GW.
And it gets more complex
Your
from there.
plan was invalidated even before
So, like, the
execution,
Patriots
Solidus.
were not, like, unaware that the Sons of Liberty and Solidus
That
were
man
going to
was
try
a
and take them
different
out.
story.
They
He's one of our
organized
own
this entire
people.
thing in the first
A
place.
sort of
They organized
examiner
their own
we hired to
attempt
test
at
the boy's
rebelling
progress
against
before
themselves.
letting him
With
tackle
Fat
the
Man
exercise
earlier being
proper.
seen as a wild card, but he
We
was
had to
actually
arrange
working for the
Stillman's
Patriots
presence to coax the
to
maniac
act as like
into
a test
agreeing.
to see if Raiden could actually
If the boy had allowed the big
fulfill
shell to be
their
destroyed,
plan
this
of
exercise
basically
would have
wiping
been
out
there.
the only threat to their existence.
The project has no room for failures.
What do you mean?
Given the right situation, the right story, anyone can be shaped into Snake. Even rookies can fight like men of experience. An instant creation of genius. And And this training kernel would provide more than enough data to formulate such a program. You, Dead Cell, Olga, you're all nothing but pawns placed to create the perfect simulation. Solidus, you and the boy were selected because your relationship resembles the one between Snake and Big Boss. Fortune, you and the rest of Dead Cell stand in for the Foxhound squad that Snake took on in Shadow Moses. You're the most impressive collection of freaks outside.
So yeah, how do you feel about the fact that this entire meta-narrative of being a recreation of Metal Gear Solid 1 is like part of a master
purified
scheme?
hydrogen bombs is just the tip of the iceberg.
I don't have enough need for this.
It gets worse. It gets worse.
2 years ago.
Oh.
Throwing your husband in the brig was a part of it too. You were told that the eradication of Dead Cell
keep in mind,
6 months ago was
Ocelot's also
Patriots.
occasionally
We provoked
possessed
and
by Liquid
encouraged your
Snake,
hatred.
who's not a part of this plan.
And you opted for vengeance.
And we haven't seen
Just
Liquid in a
as we
while,
planned.
have we?
Nope.
Orchestrated?
Except for the appearance.
Oh, you hear the crack in her voice of pure unhinged anger.
Yeah.
No.
Finding out that the death of her father and the imprisonment of her husband and the framing of her anti-terrorist as terrorists was all part of some sort of plot. And that she's been a pawn this whole time, I'd be pissed too.
Yeah.
And he just managed to land a shot on her. You know, the one whose bullets literally curve around her.
You're no Lady Luck. You have nothing.
And this time it's not just because he's a good shot.
Of course not.
What?
I will say, like, minus the sexiness of the outfit, I do like her design.
Do you know
Yeah.
why no bullet could hit you? It wasn't magic or some new age mumbo jumbo. Certainly wasn't your psychic talents. It was all staged by the Patriots.
So yeah, the Patriots are responsible for why she couldn't die. They planted an electromagnetic
weapons
field
technology
emitter on
that the
her that made
Patriots
bullets
developed.
actively curve around the generated field and disabled
Your Dead
explosives
Cell
when they came
comrades
near
loved
her.
your father and
She
husband.
just didn't
What?
know she had it on her.
Why don't we have this actual situation we probably do?
It would create massive collateral damage.
You've
Yeah.
been our puppet
Yeah,
all along,
still.
just like
I mean, Geneva Convention, more like the Geneva Suggestion.
you were hamming it up as the
That old
tragic
classic
hero,
joke.
thanks to the script that the Patriots wrote for you.
I scream.
Pure
You scream.
self-indulgence,
We all scream.
absorbed in your own misfortune.
At the horrible house fire.
Enough
At
of
the
the
family
drama.
reunion.
Oh, I was gonna say we all scream
Whenever
special
I
beam
wanted
cannon.
to.
Thought I got her in the heart.
Yeah, he didn't kill her because she has a rare birth defect where her heart is on the opposite side of her chest.
Oh.
Now,
So she's from a parallel universe.
your
No, this is like an
heart's
actual
on
thing you
rise.
can be born with.
Yeah.
Oh.
And now he's got the
Little
electromagnetic device on him, so all of her shots are missing him.
This is the little gizmo. There's no such thing as miracles or the supernatural. Only cutting-edge technology.
Ocelot, you know that's bullshit. We had a psychic in the last game. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. Psycho Mantis. Psycho Mantis was a genuinely interesting boss and character.
Yep.
You're going to be happy when I say that Metal Gear Solid 1 is not the last we're going to see of him.
Oh.
He makes an appearance in Metal Gear Solid 4 towards the end, and he's featured in Metal Gear Solid 5 as a child.
Oh, okay. Yo, I just thought this was like really interesting. If we had Kojima at the helm again, right? Hear me out.
Yeah.
Retrieve Arsenal.
A collaboration between Mech Warrior and Metal Gear Solid.
MechWarrior would be hard to do because a lot of the MechWarrior designs are licensed from various IPs owned by Bandai that are also sub-licensed by our favorite company, Harmony Gold, which is partly why it takes so long for MechWarrior stuff to even come out, because Harmony Gold thinks that they own every design for Bandai mechs instead of just the ones from Robotech.
Yeah, but I mean, like, more original. Like, basically, let Kojima design different Metal Gears.
He didn't design the mechs. That was his artist, Yoji Shinkawa.
Okay, have Yoji design it. Let Kojima work on the story, and have them work on the environmental. I think that would be so interesting.
Get the hell away from there!
I told you, your luck's run out. Take your reward. It's all the payload Ray has. Die!
You know, the Eggman Empire could probably use something like that.
I feel like the Eggman Empire would probably get better use out of Rex than Ray.
Everybody down!
Yeah.
Considering Rex actually has nuclear capabilities while Ray doesn't.
Fair.
But as you'll see, there are a lot of crazy Metal Gears throughout the series. This is one of the more tame ones.
Impossible.
Also, it turns out she could make weapons curve around her all along. She just needed to believe. I guess, I don't know. This is never elaborated on.
I know. I just gotta believe.
I gotta believe. She's channeling she's channeling her spirit animal, Parappa the Rapper.
Jackson.
Fuck, I kinda wanna make a thing. Fuck.
Soldier.
No, it's like a JoJo stand thing, except her stand is Parappa.
I can see my family.
Fucking have my Mew versus Jirachi thing. Where the DNA is basically science versus Jirachi with Keishiro as a stand, and I'm just in the Cosmos like, yo, what's up?
Try this instead.
Uh-oh, his wanking hand's acting up. You know what that means?
No! No, not now!
He just crapped his pants.
Brothers! Liquid!
Oh my god, he's British.
And petty.
I've been waiting for this! It can't be. I've been inside this arm all along, waiting for the right time to awaken.
Been in his arm.
Yes, his spirit has been inside of his arm that was transplanted onto Ocelot to replace the arm that was cut off by the Cyber Ninja last time.
It was you 2 years ago? Exactly. I was
like it was Liquid's arm that from his corpse that was transplanted onto him.
Snake, it was I that leaked information about Arsenal to your partner and got you out here. What? You're the only one that can free me. After all, I'm off to bury the Patriots for good.
You know where they are? How?
Why do you think I chose Ocelot as my host? But before I go, I have a family matter to settle with both of you. There's room for
I have
only
but
one
one
Snake
question for
and one
you to
big
settle
boss.
this family matter. Did I do that?
Time to
I'm face palming. I know you can't see me, but I'm face palming.
Damn.
So basically, Ocelot slash Liquid, who from this point onward is called Liquid Ocelot, is just out of the plot for the rest of the game. Because he's just fucked off to go after the Patriots on his own.
So this is the equivalent of putting an Ocelot in the blender.
Stop this thing! Hey, Snake! You coming?
Phrasing? Lord have mercy, phrasing.
Keep in mind, they're still in the Hudson River. Okay, so here's where a bit of, like, pre-release censorship happened that's never been undone. So, Arsenal Gear is still on a course to head towards New York City through the Hudson River up towards Manhattan. This game came out in October 2001.
Oh.
So, you're going to see a hard cut before Arsenal Gear can make impact with any noticeable landmarks in New York City. Because they didn't want to offend people, given what happened.
Understandable.
In 2001, right prior to when this was supposed to come out.
Understandable.
There's like some on-disc data that suggests some of the stuff that we were supposed to see, like the Statue of Liberty being relocated.
Federal
But that's it.
Hall.
What are you laughing at?
Do you know what day it is today?
Oh, God damn it, not you two! You're not getting me on this Rose, what day is April 30th bullshit.
It's Monday, ain't it?
George Washington took office as the first president of the United States of America 200 years ago today. And it happened right here. We were going to declare another independence, the dawn of a new nation, here. The end of the Patriots' secret rule, liberation of this country. This was where it was supposed to begin. This is where freedom could have been born.
Even when Rose is not part of the story at this point, I can't escape her bullshit.
All you want is power at any cost.
Jack, it's not power I want. What I wanted to take back from the Patriots are things like freedom, civil rights, opportunities. The founding principles of this country. Everything that's about to be wiped out by their digital censorship. Jack, listen to me. We're all born with an expiration date. No one lasts forever. Life is nothing but a grace period for turning the best of our genetic material into the next generation.
Okay, here's where we start getting into, like, cultural evolution. Which is a big theme of this game. Like, the first game was all about how your genes don't define your destiny.
Yeah.
We brothers are called les enfants terribles.
This one is all about how
with the ability to reproduce conveniently engineered
ideas and
power. What is our
history and
legacy if we cannot
culture,
pass the torch?
all that kind of stuff,
Proof
is
of our
passed down
existence,
through the
a mark of
generations
some
as if it
sort.
were genetic. This is actually a term used in psychology,
torch is passed
which
on
has
from
been
parent to
ruined
child,
by the modern day
it extends beyond
internet
DNA.
landscape. Because
Information is
you want to know
imparted as
what
well.
the term for, like, cultural ideas that are passed down through
All
generations,
I
not
want
through
is to be
genes, but
remembered
through,
by other
like,
people,
just
by history.
documenting
The
and history,
Patriots are
like,
trying to protect their power,
that kind of
their
stuff.
own interests, by controlling the digital
Memes.
flow of information. I want my memory, my existence to remain unlike an
What I miss after Raiden said, "What are you laughing at?"
will be
We
remembered
finally found
as
out what April 30th was this whole time. It was the day that George
My
Washington
mark in
first
history.
took office as president, which was
the
part of
Patriots would
Solidus'
deny
scheme
us
this whole
even
time
that.
to take down the Patriots on April
I will
30th,
triumph over
so
the
he could
Patriots.
have it
And liberate
work
us all.
in a completely
And we
like
will become
narratively perfect sense of
sons of
reclaiming America's
liberty.
freedom from the Patriots on the day that the first American president took office.
I kind of
That's
wish you
not
played
all.
this one.
Now we get talked to
We're
by the
still
AI
here.
Patriot.
How's that possible? The AI was destroyed.
I'm back.
Only GW.
Welcome
Who
back.
are you?
To begin with, we're not what you'd call human.
Okay, so like this is a thing
Over
that's
the past
like
200 years, a
not
kind of
directly
consciousness
stated
formed
here,
layer by
but
layer
it's
in the
important to
crucible of the White
understand.
House.
The
It's
Patriots
not unlike the way life
have
started in the
digitized
Earth
their
4
minds
billion
into an
years ago.
AI
The
network
White
that
House was our
GW is not the
primordial
only
soup,
one that was
a
there.
base of evolution.
GW was just the latest one. They had another backup called JFK.
We are the very discipline and morality that
The
Americans
Patriots
endured
seeking
so
a
long.
way to
How can
rule
anyone hope to
over
eliminate us? As long
the
as this
United
nation
States
exists,
in
so
what they
will
view as
we.
the best
Cut the
interest of
crap.
the country,
If you're immortal,
even past
why would you
their
take
own
away
natural
individual
depths,
freedoms and censor the net?
digitize their minds into the AI network
Don't be
at some
silly.
point in
Don't you
the
know that our
90s.
plans have your interests, not ours, in mind?
What?
Jack, listen carefully, like a good boy.
The mapping
And
of
this
the
is not the
human
real
genome
Rose we're
was
talking to,
completed
by the
early
way.
this
This is
century.
part of the AI that's
As a
talking
result,
to us.
the
It swaps
evolutionary
back and
laws of the
forth
human
between the
race
Colonel
lay open
persona
to
and
us.
a
We
Rose
started
persona.
with genetic engineering, and in the end, we succeeded in digitizing life itself.
But there are things not covered by genetic information.
What do you
AI, GW, JFK,
Human memory,
JFC, JFC
ideas,
indeed.
Culture, history.
Genes don't
WTF.
contain any record of human history.
Is it something that should not be passed on? Should that information be left
And
at
this
the
is
mercy
going
of
to be
nature?
another very
We've always
long-winded
kept
speech
records
that
of our lives,
ends up being
through
like
words,
hauntingly prescient
pictures,
about
symbols,
modern-day
from
socio-political
tablets
topics,
to books.
about the
But
idea
not all the
of
information was inherited by later generations.
like
A small
the free
percentage
flow
the
of
whole was
information
selected
on
and
the
processed,
internet,
then
and how
passed on.
not just, you
Not
know,
unlike genes,
information
really.
that's
That's what
useless
history
to
is, Jack.
historical
But in the
preservation,
current
but
digitized
also
world,
like fake
trivial
news
information is
and
accumulating every
harmful
second,
information can
preserved
flow
in
out
all
there,
its
and whether that
triteness,
and
never
whether it's
fading,
world government's
always accessible.
responsibility to filter out
Rumors
things
about
that can be
petty
harmful
issues,
to the population,
misinterpretations,
or whether it's
slander.
a human
All
right
this
to
junk data preserved in an unfiltered state, growing at
like
an alarming
spread
rate.
information
It will
freely.
only slow down social progress, reduce the rate of evolution.
Right. You seem to think that our plan is one of
Like they don't view it as censorship; they
telling
view it
me
as
it's not?
protecting people
You're
from
being silly.
told
What we
things
propose
that could
to do
harm
is
them.
not to control content, but to create
I mean, that's very
context.
suggestive when
Create
you think really get
context.
down to
The
it.
digital
This was 2001. The internet had been a mainstream thing for like 2-3 years at most.
Yeah.
Of morality around you.
Also, you want to know what
Spent on new weapons
FTSIO
in order
means?
to humanely
What?
murder other humans.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Victims.
Although there are people suffering in
this
poverty,
shit, I'm out.
huge donations are made to
Fuck
protect
this shit, I'm
endangered
out.
species.
No thanks.
Everyone grows up being told the same thing.
But like they do
Be
make
nice
some
to other
legit
people.
points here
But beat out the
of stuff like
competition.
everyone's told
special.
like you're special,
Believe in
you
yourself and you
you
will
can accomplish
succeed.
anything if
But
you
it's
put your mind
obvious
to
from the
it,
start
even
that
though
only a few
everyone's
can
told the same
succeed.
thing, and in reality only the
exercise your
people that
right to
have the right
freedom.
starting points
And
are going to
this
be able
is
to
the
succeed
result.
in American
All
society.
rhetoric to
Yep.
avoid conflict and protect each other from hurt.
I'm
The
still hurting
untested
from that.
truths, spun by different interests, continue to
This is
churn
about
and
cerebral
accumulate in
and
the
like meta
sandbox of
as the
political
plots get.
correctness and
It's not
value
going to be
systems.
this complex
Everyone
from this
withdraws
point
into
out.
their own small gated community, afraid of a larger
Hey, Shadow
crowd.
Dragon.
They stay
Hey,
inside
Shadow
their
Dragon, you
little
showed up in
ponds,
time for the
leaking
hour
whatever
of
truth
uninterrupted
suits them into the growing
cutscenes.
cesspool of society at large.
The different
Experiential.
cardinal truths, neither class
Existential
nor mesh.
Christ.
No
I
one is invalidated, but
Uh.
is right.
Not even natural selection can take place here. The world is being engulfed in truth.
And this is the way the world ends, not with a bang, but a whimper.
We're trying to stop that from happening.
It's our responsibility as rulers. Just as in genetics, unnecessary information and memory must be filtered out to stay.
I mean, you can learn a lot of things from
And
some of
you
the
think you're
smallest bits of
qualified to decide
information.
what's necessary and not?
Absolutely.
Like Raiden makes
Who
a very
else
good
could
point.
wade
Like
through the sea of
whether
garbage
it's
you people
whether
produce,
it's like
retrieve
objectively
valuable
correct or not
truths,
to
and
filter
even
out
interpret
harmful
their meaning
information,
for later
who is the one who
generations.
gets to decide
That's what
what's
it
harmful
means to
and what
create
isn't?
context.
Yeah.
I'll decide for myself what to believe and what to pass on.
But is that even your own idea?
Or something
Yeah.
Snake told you.
That's the proof of your incompetence.
Yeah, that's right,
there.
Shadow Dragon.
You lack the
As of today, the
qualifications
Xbox
to
360
exercise
store
free will.
is closed,
That's
with
not
the only
true. I have the
remaining
right.
digital stores of
Does
that
something
generation
like a
being on the PS3 and the
self
PS
exist inside
Vita.
you?
That which you
Yeah.
call self serves as nothing more than a mask to cover your own being.
In this era of ready-made truths, self is just something used to preserve those positive emotions that you occasionally feel.
Another possibility is that self is a concept you conveniently borrowed under the logic that would endow you with some sense of strength.
That's crap!
Is it? Would you prefer that someone else tell you? All right then. Explain it to me.
You were talking about
Jack,
existential
you're
crisis.
simply the best. And
Like,
you got there all
they're getting
by
into the
yourself.
idea that the image of the idea of the individual being
Do you feel
a
lost?
single
Why not
person
try a
with their
bit of
own
soul
self-identity
Don't think you'll
is
find
itself
anything,
molded
though.
by the culture around
Ironic
them.
that although self is something that you yourself
Yes
fashion,
and no, because there's
every
been
And by the
people who
people around
rebel.
them, and that
turn around and place the
and that
blame on
like
something else.
maybe
It's
we're
not
not
my
all
fault.
individuals
It's not your fault.
and
In denial, you simply resort to looking for another.
I can easily debunk that by
I've
saying
been
the
playing this game
LGBT
for
LGBT
years,
better.
and even I
Leaving
still
behind in
can't
an instant
like
the so-called
summarize
truth
in a
you
good
once
way a
embraced.
lot of the
Should
ideas that this
someone
game's
like that
trying
be
to
able to decide what is
pitch.
truth?
Should someone like you
because
even
I'm
have
not
the
very
right to
familiar with
decide?
postmodernist
You've
literature.
done nothing but abuse your freedom.
You don't deserve to be free.
We're not the ones smothering the world. You are.
The individual is supposed to be weak, but far from powerless. A single person has the potential to ruin the world.
And the age of digitized communication has given even more power
I mean, they're not
to the
wrong.
individual. Too much power for an
That part.
immature species.
Building a legacy involves figuring out what is wanted and what needs to be done for that goal. All this you used to struggle with. Now we think for you.
We are your guardians.
Keep in
after
mind,
all.
this was being
want to
developed,
control
like The
human
Matrix
thought,
came out in between
human
Metal Gear Solid
behavior?
1 and 2.
Of course.
And
Yeah.
I don't
Anything
think that
can be
could. I know
quantified
that Kojima saw The
nowadays.
Matrix,
That's what this
but I
exercise
don't
was
think
designed
that
to prove.
itself was an
You fell in
impact
love
on
with
this
me just as
narrative,
you were meant
given
to,
that
after
all.
this game had
Isn't
a kind
that
of
right,
protracted
Jack?
development cycle.
Ocelot was not told the whole truth, to say the least.
Also,
I'm just
we're about to
looking-
find out that that
Entire
entire thing
nation.
of like this
Of what
entire thing
interest
being
would a
part of a
single
simulation,
soldier, no
that was
matter how
bullshit that
able,
they fed
be
to
to
Ocelot.
us?
That's not
The
what the S3 plan
does not stand
is
for
at all. It
solid
doesn't even
snake
stand for solid snake simulation.
What it
It's
does stand
selection
is
for societal
selection for
sanity,
societal sanity.
which is this entire
PS3 is a
plot,
system for
this
controlling
entire
human will
thing
and
from the beginning
consciousness.
chapter to this end chapter has been a test
S3 is not
by the
used for soldiers
Patriots
trained in the image
to
of
see
solid snake.
whether or not they are capable of molding
is a
and
method,
shaping
a
the
protocol that
people
created a
of the
circumstance that
world
made you
without
what
them
you are.
knowing it and without
So you
directly
see, we're the
interfering
S3.
with them.
Not you.
Mission mailed.
What you experienced
Hey,
was the final
JKR.
test of effectiveness.
That's crazy.
Yes.
You heard what
You
President
get that
Johnson
Fisher
said.
Nice mailed you?
Arsenal's GW system is the key to their supremacy.
The objective of this exercise was to establish such a method. We used Shadow Moses as a paradigm for the exercise.
I wonder if you would have preferred a fantasy setting.
And this is where we get into the idea
We
of
chose that backdrop because of its extreme
like
circumstances.
how the
It was an
media we
optimal test for
consume
S3's
shapes
crisis
our
management capacity.
beliefs and
If
ideals.
the bomb could trigger,
With
control, and solve
Kojima
this, it would be
using
ready for any
the
contingency.
idea of this entire scenario being modeled after Shadow Moses in universe as a way to question whether
Raiden,
like
there are also
military,
reasons behind your selection.
military
Solidus
wish
raised
fulfillment
plenty of
fantasy
other
games
child
like at the
soldiers.
time Metal Gear Solid, but
You know
nowadays
why
it would
we
probably be
chose
something
you
like
over
Call of
them?
Duty.
It was because you were
Are
the
something
only
that
one who
need to
refused
exist.
To acknowledge the past. All the others remember what they were and pay for it daily.
and
But
what
you
effect
turn
they
your
have on
back
the people who
everything
play
you
them.
don't like. You do whatever you like.
If there's
See
one thing
only the
Kojima
things
likes,
you
it's
like,
questioning
and, for
and
yourself alone.
re-examining his own work.
Yes. Rose can attest to that.
Yeah.
You refused to see me for what I was. I lied to you, but I wanted to be caught. You pretended to be understanding, to be a gentleman. You never made a conscious attempt to reach out to me. The only time you did was when I gave you no choice but to do so.
I was just trying not to.
What? Trying not to hurt me? Dear, the one you were trying not to hurt was yourself. Avoiding the truth under the guise of kindness is all that you did. It occurred to you to do nothing but look out for yourself. Even if you claim that it was for my sake, that feeling was nowhere to be seen. In the end, everything was for your sake. I was never part of the picture.
Exactly right. So you see, you're a perfect representative of the masses we need to protect. This is why we chose you. You accepted the fiction we've provided, obeyed our orders.
Another thing too is you could hear clues of other stuff in the audio and in
Yeah.
the line
Didn't
delivery.
I tell you that GW
Yep.
is still incomplete? But not anymore.
Everything
thanks
in a
to
Metal
you.
Gear game is
Your
intentional.
persona, experiences, triumphs, and defeats.
Like we heard the role play thing. It was basically saying play your role, play along.
Yeah, he kept on insistently referring to Raiden's position in this mission as a role that he has to fulfill.
Yeah, and they showed more of that right here.
Yeah, using that to, like,
Think
metatextually
again.
refer to the
I'm
role
through
that the
doing
player
what
is
I'm told.
fulfilling by playing this game.
Yes.
Aren't you forgetting something?
If you die,
Not only that,
Very advanced stuff for 2001. People were not ready for this back then.
yeah, like the whole turn off your game console. He was saying play the role, play along with it.
She's wired the
Play along with the story. We're gonna humor you.
Does she actually?
It was literally a clue in there saying don't turn it off.
Even right
Just
here,
play
the way
along.
that lie is capitaled in the word believe.
Solidus
Yeah.
Something that's not conveyed through audio but through
collect the necessary
subtitles.
data from this last fight. Then we'll consider the exercise closed. So, Jack the Ripper, will it be Solidus, the Patriot's creation, or you, Solidus's creation? Our beloved monsters, enjoy yourselves.
Dude, the face also looks so fake in it. Like, ooh.
Yeah, because it's a skull facing through
Yeah.
the
Brothers
skin.
and I are called monsters, replicates of evil genes. You are one of a kind, but still a monster, shaped by a dark and secret history.
And for the record, the reason that this fight's going
We
to happen
need
is
to
because
decide which
if you missed that
monstrosity
while
will
we
have
were
the
discussing the
privilege of
meta-narrative
survival.
stuff, there's still the whole thing of, oh, by the way, if you die, then Olga's child
way,
dies
Jack.
too. Remember?
Yeah.
Remember that tidbit they dropped like over an hour ago?
I claimed you for my own and raised you as a soldier in the army of the devil. I am your foster father and your worst enemy.
Why?
Because I needed to know whether we were really someone else's creation. We're repeating history, Jack. Liquid and Solid hunted down Big Boss, trying to sever the tie that bound them to him. Unless you kill me and face your past, Jack, you will never escape. You'll stay in the endless loop, your own double helix.
It's in your Helix DNA RNA. Oh god.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my
There's
god.
a lot of like highbrow stuff in Metal Gear Solid 2 that the series would not revisit to this point ever again because it just flew over so many people's heads at the time.
I have other
The
reasons.
fact that I'm seeing it for the first time and getting it, that tells you a lot.
The clues to the Patriots inside GW are big.
People who just weren't
There
using
are other traces
5% of the brain. I don't know.
inside you.
No, it's the fact that they were smooth.
The
brain.
information is being carried by the
I
network
mean-
genes in your cerebral cortex.
I mean, keep in mind,
and
this
throughout
was
the neural
like
network they
2001,
formed.
so like media literacy was not at, well, media literacy is still not good nowadays. I would argue
It's probably worse.
it's deteriorated in a lot of ways nowadays. But we weren't used to video games trying to convey a meta-narrative message at the time, whereas that's very commonplace these days.
Yeah.
And of course, the final fight in parallel to Metal Gear Solid 1 is a melee combat fight, although this time with swords.
Next, they're gonna have a Beyblade battle in the next game.
You joke about that, but people have made Beyblade memes about Metal Gear Rising because Raiden has a move that basically turns him into a spinning top.
Oh God, I am joking, and all of my jokes keep coming back.
You can't joke about Metal Gear because you'll accidentally correctly predict something.
Is that the best you can do?
Lord have mercy. Yeah, 2000 was quite a gaming experience.
I'm doing horrible at this fight. Let me go over here and collect this ration so I don't die. This is a fight where I've never like really bothered to learn the proper strategy. I just kind of use it. And I know that's a very bad way to play this fight, but fuck it.
No, fuck it, you might get an infection.
Don't fuck it, you might have an existential crisis with the post-nut clarity.
Take this.
I mean, I'm not having one.
What the?
Just think here. We are an existential crisis.
Let's go.
Get him, Samurai Jack.
Well, next up, fire. Well,
Let's go.
I mean, his name is Jack,
Yep.
and he's more of a ninja than a samurai.
Thinking
As
about
we'll,
it,
as we'll see from Metal Gear Solid 4 onward, he's more of a ninja. Although he
Yeah.
does, as we learn in the opening cutscenes of Metal Gear Rising, he does follow the code of the samurai.
you know it would be a good fight, but I know who would win.
Samurai Jack versus Raiden.
Yeah, like we already know Samurai Jack is gonna win.
Let's go.
But I
Well,
still
it
think
depends
it'll
on
be
what the limitations and powers of his magic sword are.
Good work, Jack.
Well, the thing is, I'm breaking it down via experience as well. So remember, he can jump really high without
So can
cybernetics.
Raiden.
Well, he needs cybernetics for that.
Yeah, but it depends on whether you're talking about Metal Gear Solid 2 Raiden or Metal Gear Solid 4 and onward Raiden. Also,
In
this
general.
right here, optional codec call, but still important lore dump about how much of this game has been fucking with Raiden.
You know?
Yes, you are. You're nothing but mere weapons. No different from fighter jets or tanks.
What the?
The old model destroyed 4 years ago was Rex.
The new amphibious model is Ray.
Both of these are the same as the code names used by the U.S. Armed Forces to refer to Japanese warplanes during World War II.
Your code name, Raiden, too, comes from the Japanese Navy's name for one of its interceptors.
Stop it. I'm not a...
Raiden is also a thunder god.
Do you know the code name the U.S. Armed Forces used for the Japanese fighter Raiden?
It was Jack. Both of you are just weapons to be used.
Fuck!
along the way.
Just weapons to be used
Oh,
on the battlefield.
God.
Just pawns in a game. Exactly as you said.
And a weapon has no right to think for itself. Now, it's time to fulfill your purpose.
I'll say fuck!
Exactly. That's the one of the most appropriate times to use that sound bite.
Yeah. But I'm talking about like Metal Gear Rising, right? Because I mean, Samurai
Metal
Jack.
Gear Rising Raiden is him at his peak power.
Yeah.
Because he's
It
got his
makes
most
sense to
refined
have-
cyborg body.
It makes sense for Jack to also be at his best, also.
Yeah, so it would be like Season 5 Jack after he's overcome his trauma and regained the sword.
Yeah. You don't forget, Jack also trained as a ninja, samurai. He did boxing as well, I think.
Yeah, and
He was
Raiden
gonna
also
hunt.
grew up as a child soldier.
Yeah. Like it will be. The funny
It
thing
would be
is
a
that
really
we know.
interesting matchup. Also, the idea of like magic versus technology.
Yeah. I just think it'd be interesting.
Got this. We got this.
You can do it! Stop laughing at me. Get cut in the
Holy
face.
Okay, time for more
cool.
cutscenes.
You are dead. Not big surprise.
I diagnosed you with dead.
お前はもう死んでる。
Nani? I was making it back to the barnyard reference. You know, like the pigs I diagnosed with dead.
I rickroll.
Why not?
Shoot him! Shoot him!
But he doesn't have a gun.
Aye.
All he has is a sword. Throw the sword at him! So yeah, Raiden just killed a former president.
He could go to jail for that.
Well, no, he was ordered to. That depends on whether the police are in on this.
Yeah.
It depends on how far the Patriots' influence goes throughout, like, law enforcement.
Right. Yeah, but he could do time for treason if the Patriots wanted it to.
If they want him to, but he was following their orders, so they're going to fulfill their end of the bargain.
But they did say he was nothing but a weapon to be tossed aside when he outlived his usefulness.
Yes.
But he's so useful.
And, like, the next game, Metal Gear Solid 3, is going to take place earlier. The earliest point in the timeline so far. And then once we get back to the modern day stuff, there's going to be a several-year time skip.
I know Raiden does become a cyborg, but did they ever explain that in lore?
It's explained through, like, official lore docs, but, we were supposed to get a game that, like, conveyed what happened there, but that game was canceled and turned into Metal Gear Rising.
What the hell?
Who am I really?
No one
Where are these people?
or what they are. The memories you have and the role you were assigned are burdens.
Snake,
you
where
have
the
to
fuck
carry.
did you come from?
It doesn't
Blame
matter
my
if they
father.
Where are all those?
That's never the point.
Where do all those people come from? Cause they used to New York, they will be looking at their windows like, "Oh hell no, we is not getting outside. Fuck that shit."
Reality. Most of what they call real is actually fiction.
I mean, it's more of like a visual symbolism thing. Raiden was alone in the shot before, but now that people have shown up, it's symbolizing that the conflict of this story is over and he can return to the life of being a civilian, blending in with the crowd.
People about having faith. What we had
Having faith to the church.
What we found
Yeah,
important
like I said,
enough to
everything's
fight for.
deliberate. Although they're not talking about religious faith here. They're talking about faith in what you
yourself.
value, what you cherish, what your ideals are.
Yeah.
Patriots are a kind of ongoing fiction
What
too,
you
come to think
believe
of
is
it.
right.
Listen, don't obsess.
Oh snap! That's me right there.
Find the meaning behind the words, then decide. You can find.
I mean, everyone's looking around like, "What happened? Where is he?"
Yeah, right. I'm trying to figure that out.
There
too.
actually is an Easter egg with someone hidden in the crowd in the final
in
cutscenes.
terms of choices this time.
And you get a trophy for finding
But
him
everything you
in the
felt,
cutscene viewer
thought
mode
about
after you
during
beat the
this mission
game.
is yours.
Yeah,
And what
I
you
was
decide to do with them
joking.
is your choice.
Fuck!
You wanna know who's hidden among the crowd of civilians so far in the back that you have to go into the movie theater mode and pause it and then manipulate the camera to zoom all the way through 3D space to find him?
Kojima.
Kojima?
Vamp.
Oh.
He's still alive.
What is that?
Oh, fuck.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, the dog tags we entered at the beginning of the game. Icy Wiener, goddamn.
Oh my god, you know what's fucked up? You know what's fucked up?
Anyone you know?
The Blast Twitch run, I named my trainer Icy Wiener.
Name before.
I forgot that was the name I entered all those months ago, but that finally paid
I'll
off.
find something worth passing on.
Dude,
But like, what you're supposed to, like, narratively, what you're supposed to do is, like, it asks for your name, you enter, like, your
Taught me
name.
some good things
And
too.
Raiden has those dog tags at
I
the
know.
end and throws them away, symbolically
inherited
throwing off the
freedom from
shackles
all
of being
those who fought
controlled
for
by the
it.
player.
We all have the freedom to
Until,
speak, even me.
until Rising pops up.
Snake, what about Olga's child? Don't worry. I'll find it. Count on it. As long as you keep yourself alive.
Hi, Billy Mays here.
I mean, Billy Mays was probably somewhere around here at that
Do you know where
time.
Liquid went?
Yeah. I don't remember the 2010 thing.
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid Rising was what eventually became Metal Gear Rising. Before it was, like, it was the early build that was supposed to be, like, a Raiden game explaining what happened in between 2 and 4.
This contains the list.
But
Oh, yeah, you
it
said
got
that.
I talked about this last time.
Yeah.
The one we
That's also
gave
where
you
the
wasn't
Rising
real
title of
thing.
Metal Gear Rising Revengeance comes from.
What? This virus
Hey,
is
Lulu.
coded to destroy only
Hey,
a
Lulu
specific
showed up
target.
just in time for the final
Lulu.
cutscene, and then,
Information about the
given that we
Patriot's
got through this
identity.
quicker than I anticipated, we'll start Metal Gear Solid
Which
3.
means that there's a parameter coded in here that defines what that information is.
And yeah,
Hey,
Snake's like, by the
Lulu.
way, we gave you a fake virus all
Analyze the
along. We
code,
had the
we can
real
probably
virus the
find
whole
out where they
time.
operate. Count me in. No, you have
It's like
things
saying, hey, I
to
gave you
do.
Corona, but you don't have it.
Well, computer
Yeah,
virus.
cold.
The virus that we uploaded into GW was a fake that, because Snake knew that the one that Emma was provided with the whole time was going to work in the Patriots' favor. So he stole the real one so it could be reverse engineered to find the identities of the Patriots.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, Rose. Fuck.
Hydrate, you bastard! Hydrate!
Okay, I'll hydrate. Also, I just noticed this today about Raiden's suit design. Playing into the ninja aesthetic, his, the feet parts of his outfit have that indentation of the toes resembling ninja tabi. Or samurai tabi. You know, the socks that they wear.
Yeah.
God damn it, Shadow Dragon.
Shadow Dragon said he was gonna do it, and by God, he did it. Also, the parrot made it out alive.
I'm listening to it right now on Twitch.
Can we talk about how, like, in this, after this mind fuck
But we're going to find out.
of a series of plot twists, this is probably the happiest ending that a Metal Gear game has had so far.
See me for what I am.
This is, you know what? This music is befitting of the Jack and Rose romance.
Yeah.
Oh, and she wasn't lying. She actually is pregnant with his child. And now we finally get the answer. Do you remember what today is? Well, it was tomorrow earlier, but enough time has passed that tomorrow is now today. It was the day that they met. That's what this whole fucking thing has been building up to. It's our anniversary.
Fuck this shit.
Okay, that's enough Corey Feldman.
There's a reason that they use the term romantic plot tumor to describe this.
I think I found something to pass along to the future.
What?
He said all living things want their genes to live on.
Are you talking about the baby?
Yeah. The genes aren't the only thing you pass on. There are too many things that aren't written into our DNA.
Found some more sexy
It's up to us
pics of
to
Lycon.
teach that to our children.
Ooh,
I'm not surprised that you did. You are very horny for Lycon.
Our ideas.
Lycon. I haven't heard his name pronounced yet.
Poetry.
Watch it be something like Lycaean.
Sorrow, joy.
Like,
We'll tell them
call-
everything.
Like it's not
together.
pronounced how you would think it's
Is
spelled.
that a
The wolf guy from
proposal?
Zenless Zone Zero.
This is for
Lycaean.
your ears only.
It's gonna have some fucking Pokemon official pronunciation where it sounds
Just-
wrong when you say it.
just call them Wolf Daddy like I do. Everyone knows who you're talking about. Hey, I got some of my straight friends calling him Wolf Daddy.
I stare at the stars.
Finally, credits. But it
And
wouldn't
the
be Metal Gear without a post-credits plot twist, so keep an eye out
Oh.
for that.
And think, what am I made of? Am I full?
Okay, there was my answer to something I was looking for earlier.
Am I
Olga was voiced by Vanessa Marshall, who's also another recurring voice actress throughout the Metal Gear
I
series.
filled with love.
So you know what's funny?
I walk by
Remember how I was complaining about Twitter bots?
streets
Yeah.
below, and
One of them was named Vivian.
every child
I reverse searched the pictures they posted with the actual person, and I said, I know this ain't you. I'm from New Zealand. My name is Molly. Bro, your name is Vivian. Get the hell up out of here.
Her actual name is series of binary numbers.
I can't say
Bro, I am tempted to actually make messages in binary and sending it to him.
Her actual name is a serial number.
holding on till the end.
Look at this, my name. Like, I'm from New Zealand. I should really put like, my name is New Zealand. I'm from Mali. I'm 42. You about how old years? To come and say I like I have a husband.
So that was Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty. Definitely a great follow-up to Metal Gear Solid 1. Advances a lot of the mechanics in great ways. Advances the narrative in some fucking massive ways. Unfairly hated by the community at the time it came out.
I remember some of the hate for it.
A lot of the hate was like very homophobic stuff, mostly towards Raiden's design.
Oh.
Like, they
I
thought that
remember
he
that.
looked too girly, so a lot of, like, even gaming magazines at the time were taking pot shots at Raiden having a somewhat effeminate design.
I remember about that,
And
yeah.
making a lot of homophobic jokes about it that have aged like fucking milk.
Bro, that shit aged like fucking cheese in Maui. Or Arizona. Or basically any place that's hot as fuck, you know?
But as great of a step forward for the Metal Gear Saga as this isn't my favorite in the series. We'll be getting to that in just a few minutes.
You already know mine is solid.
I know it's a basic bitch choice to say your favorite game in the series is Metal Gear Solid 3, but what can I say? It was the first one I played from beginning to end, and I feel like it has the strongest narrative.
I mean, Snake, it has probably one of the strongest OSTs.
See, it
Snake
feels like
Eater's
that
is a
seems
good
common when
song.
new characters are introduced as MCs, always being hated at first. Yeah, that does tend to be a trend.
I mean, people hate it on Titus.
I'm a Sonic fan. I've seen the complete turnaround that people had on Silver.
I had no opinion on Silver, but like Titus, for example, people joke around in the memes, calling him a little bitch and everything. But then people are actually, they will sit down and watch like a 3-hour deep dive on a character and still be like, yeah, I like this character, but I'm still gonna call him a bitch.
Like, if Raiden's legacy were just this game, I could understand the divisive reaction to him. But as someone that got into the series later on, like after 4 had come out, he benefited a lot from being fleshed out in later entries to further differentiate himself from being just from being like a stand-in for Solid Snake in a narrative sense.
Yeah.
And that is entirely part of the narrative. Part of Kojima's rebellion against people that wanted him to make more Metal Gear Solid into perpetuity, even this far back, was hyping up Solid Snake's return in the pre-release stuff, and then blindsiding people with a femboy.
Yeah. But then,
because that's a big part. That's a big part of the context of the backlash to Raiden that people who got into the series later, including myself, wouldn't understand unless they either researched it or were around following the news about the game and its lead up, was that they didn't show Raiden being the protagonist. They focused entirely on Snake and framed it as though Raiden was going to be a sidekick at most.
Yeah. And then 15 years later, everyone's going crazy about femboys, and now the year is 2024. Wait, 2024.
Since when did we go that far back in time, Kier?
Don't forget, me as a VTuber, right? I'm over 500 years old. Give me a break. I'm old.
No.
Yes, I'm old. But I digress. The year is 2024, and people are losing their mind on femboys.
Yep.
And
I think it's safe to say that Raiden has finally found his fandom.
Yeah. Along with Tommy, Mommy, Gothic girls.
Fanboy ahoy. Wait, that's another person. Never mind. Fuck.
Yeah. All right, you ready for the post-credits plot twist?
Santa comes out of the grave and punches Satan in the face.
That wouldn't be the craziest thing that's happened in Metal Gear, believe it or not.
I know some of this if you told me. I'm not saying it for obvious reasons.
Life isn't just about passing on your genes. We can leave behind much more than just DNA.
We can leave behind pigeons.
Music, literature, and movies. What we've seen, heard, felt. Anger, joy, and sorrow. These are the things I will pass on. That's what I live for. We need to pass the torch and let our children read our messy and sad history by its light.
Kind of sad. I do watch torch.
We have all the magic of the digital age to do that with.
Yeah, this is one more like, oh god, this is really relevant. The idea that we have to teach the future generations our entire history, both the good and the bad of it.
To leave what traces of life we can.
And how the people are out there only want to teach or muddle up to that, and it's like, no, you got to be clear about it. You got to have these uncomfortable talks. It's life itself. It's not rainbows and glitter farts.
All right, that was the post-game monologue, but here it's time for the plot twist. So you know how they were going to reverse
Snake,
engineer the
you
virus
there?
and find
It's me.
the list
I
of
finished
the
going over
leaders of
that
the
disc.
Patriots?
Did you find the Patriots list?
Of course. It contains the personal data of 12 people. There was a name on it. Snake, it was one of our biggest contributors.
What's going on around here?
I don't know.
Anyway, where are they?
Well, we were right about them being on Manhattan, but
But what?
they're already dead. All 12 of them.
When did it happen?
Well, about 100 years ago.
What the heck?
Yeah, that's what we're ending off on. All
Oh,
of this to
God.
find out the identities of the Wise Men's Council, just to find out they all died 100 years ago.
So, Cobalt, I'm going to one up you on that. I want to be the femboy that plows a femboy that gets with the tall goth tomboy GF. And I'm
And the rank
trying
we
to keep
got
it,
was elephant. I like that from the Substance updated re-release onwards into the HD collection, they changed how the ranking screen works, because I have the original Black Label print of Metal Gear Solid 2. And the thing about that was they wanted you to go on the Konami website and enter a code that was generated based on your playthrough to find out what your rank is. The problem is, of course, that website's not active anymore.
Yeah.
So in future re-releases, they just gave you your rank at the end.
I don't know why they didn't just do that from the start, but okay.
Yeah, it was part of like the video game industry's fascination with like, oh, we can have parts of the game be on our tie-in websites.
Final
The
Fantasy
internet
9
was
did it,
still
for
a new and
example.
exciting thing. Just look at the Square Enix official strategy guide for Final Fantasy IX for the worst example of that.
Yeah, please don't. Because the funny thing is, I already used the Square Enix website to play that, which is like, I never got the, strategy guide. But I'm surprised that like it didn't end up in a lawsuit, because it's like, bro, I bought the strategy guide to help me with my game. Why are you sending me somewhere else?
All right, so
Take
that was
escape.
Metal Gear Solid 2. I'm going to end this recording and start a new one so I don't have to split up the video files in post. And then we'll move on to Metal Gear Solid 3. So switch to the BRB screen real quick while I get things set up.
Stay tuned.